Despite Grizzly 1's best effort, the defense of Eagle's Nest 1 was valiant but ultimately futile. Overwhelmed by Soviet forces and facing annihilation, General Collins ordered a full NSDF retreat from the moon. Under constant pressure, surviving forces evacuated from the spaceport to the NSS Justice with plans to re-establish on Mars. The NSDF had ceded ground it could not reclaim, leaving behind key outposts, stockpiles, and countless personnel trapped in hostile territory. But not all who served were willing to abandon the fight. Against standing orders and with no intentions of surrendering, elements of Cobra Company, collectively known as the Black Dog Squadron, remained behind. Operating without official sanction, they began a ruthless guerrilla war against the occupying CCA forces. The Black Dogs are the NSDF's elite, renowned for their skill, resourcefulness, and unorthodox tactics, yet their psychological profile tells a different story. Volatile, independent, and prone to extreme risk, they thrive in the shadows, taking missions no conventional force would ever accept. For Cobra 1 and his fellow Black Dog pilots, the war was only just getting started. Hey guys, I'm Lithium, and welcome back to my playthrough of the Battlezone Total Command series. For this episode, we'll get our first major change to the pacing of the Battlezone 98 story, as we begin to see the different campaigns start to intertwine with each other. So if you're a Battlezone veteran and wondering why we're now playing as the Black Dogs, don't stress. The Total Command mod tells the story in a linear timeline. Anyway, we've got a briefing to get through, so let's get this on the way. Black Dogs 01, Grab the Scientists. First mission from the Nintendo 64's Black Dog campaign. Battlezone update. When the NSDF retreated from the moon after the CCA invasion, not all its forces joined the evacuation. The Black Dog Squadron is the NSDF's Special Operations Force. Comprised of several companies, the Black Dogs are the hard-hitting, secretive force behind America's secret space army. Charlie Company of the Black Dogs, also known as Cobra Company, led by Commander Shaw, elected to stay behind to fight and disrupt the actions of the CCA while mainline NSDF forces moved out into the solar system. Resupplying from abandoned NSDF facilities, Black Dog's Cobra has been conducting hit-and-run attacks on the CCA and rescuing NSDF units that were left behind. Even though the moon has been lost to the Soviets, the Cobra continues to strike. BDS update. Reports indicate that the top NSDF scientists have been captured by the Soviets and is being held prisoner at one of the several outposts on the moon. Cobra 1, you must locate and rescue the scientist and destroy any opposition you encounter. The scientist is being guarded by one of the CCA's special forces groups, the Crimson Bears Battalion. Like the Black Dogs, their forces have a unique appearance and conduct missions too important to be handled by regular CCA forces. Engineering report. We expect massive resistance to your attempts to rescue the scientists, so several heavy Black Dog units that are best suited for this mission are being provided. And the objectives are simple. Get to the nav point and begin the search for the scientists, destroy any opposition, and rescue the American scientists. Should be no complications.
Cobra 1, we have reason to believe that a top-level NSDF scientist has been captured by the Soviets and taken to one of their outposts here on the moon. To find out which outpost he is at, we need to intercept CCA communications. Your tank has been fitted with a decoding device. When you're close enough to the communications tower, it will activate and tell us exactly where the scientist is being held.
As you can see here, Group 1, we have a mix of Grizzlies and Thunderbolts. It is actually worthwhile to select all your Thunderbolts, or your Grizzlies in this case, and separate them into another group. It just makes it easier to command those units later, rather than have your missile boats basically get mixed up with your frontline units. For this mission, you don't have any resources other than the vehicles you have, so you need to play it a bit smarter. You've got a lot to kill, and you can't replenish your forces, so you actually need to be kind of tactically smart here. You're under no time pressure, so take your time.
Bomber here. Rolling.
This mission's a good chance to practice sniping. As the targets are stationary, though as you'll see, range is an issue. You need to make sure you're still within range of the target, otherwise your shot will miss. If you miss your shot and you hit the vehicle, the enemy will come after you, in which case I'd highly suggest you get back in your tank.
Ammo depleted.
If you're running out of sniper ammo, just get back in your vehicle and your pilot ammo will be instantly replenished. I'm getting into these flankers just so the AI recognises them as belonging to me now. That way, when your companions come by, they won't try and kill them. Two gun towers. First time you're going to see CCA, fixed emplacements, they're not fun. We can see a scout hiding back there. Can't take the shot though, he's too far. So, a big note about Black Dog vehicles is they generally, compared to their American counterparts or their mainline NSDF counterparts, usually have less hull. They're a bit more fragile. Instead, they come with basically much more aggressive weapon systems. The Super Stabber is one of the best weapons to put on any tank you've got available. Just it hits like a truck, but it uses double the ammo. So. So when we go in, we're going to want to be using our Thunderbolts to lead the charge, simply so they can eat the hits. Let's see if I get this right.
En route. Fighting enemy. Grizzly here. Bring him on.
Once your Thunderbolts have the aggro, send your tanks in.
Fighting enemy. Bomber here. Moving.
So there is two turrets back there. However, because we've got a much more aggressive loadout, we can probably take these turrets on. That still stings a bit. So just a heads up with this objective. Put us sit near that building for 30 seconds or so. However, your friendly units will attack it on sight, so keep them, once all the defenses are dealt with, keep them at a distance and until you get the objective.
Initiating communication.
Otherwise you will outright fail.
Bomber here. On the wing. Bomber here. En route. Bomber here. Bomber here. On the wing. Bomber here. En route. Bomber here.
Data interception complete. Communication uplink terminated.
It appears the scientist has been relocated to the main research facility. This facility is powered by solar rays and now points 2 and 3. Cripple the research facility by destroying these solar arrays.
Bomber here.
Once that tower has been hacked, as per the mission objectives, you can then let your units kill it. Use those supply pods to fix up your most damaged units or heal your own tank if need be. And then we're going to go around the corner.
Rolling.
Much like before, there'll be a couple of flankers up ahead. Find a good vantage point, pop out and snipe them.
Armor here. Moving. Rolling.
Those scouts are a bit too close to the gun tower to try and steal them. We'll see if we can get one, but I wouldn't recommend getting the closer one. Those turrets have about a 220 meter range on their weapons, so anything past that you should be safe, but they do some serious damage.
En route. Armor here. Fighting enemy. Grizzly here. No mercy. Grizzly here. No mercy. Armor here.
Lithium, what are you doing? That was the stupidest loss of your personal tank I could ever think of.
Armor here. Fighting enemy. Bring him on. Moving. Grizzly here. No mercy.
Send your tanks in to fight these bombers. They are using swarm rockets, so they will hit decently hard. Try not to be in front of them when they do that, so they will just like your own Lost one Grizzly, so if you count your own, but we should still be in a pretty good position here. So, the thing to keep in mind, when you have an enemy vehicle, provided you do not attack, and there's no other hidden things on the back end of the mission, you are basically invisible to the enemy for a period of time.
We're reading power fluctuations in the research facility.
Stealing
Excellent
enemy
work.
vehicles
Take
can
out
be
the
very
remaining
useful
silver
in this
array.
regard for remaining undetected, but the downside is you have to get a nasty snipe, and they won't be as easy as they are in this mission.
Grizzly here. Yes, sir. Armor here. Armor here. On the wing. Grizzly here. Grizzly here. Yes, sir.
We'll leave our companions back there for now as we move forward to go clear the other few scouts to try and limit the damage on our units.
Armor here. Rolling.
Swapping scouts here, just simply because that previous one I shot an enemy with it, so it's been burnt. The enemy will know it now belongs to me. See if we can get one more snipe.
Ammo depleted.
Taking out those heavy rockets, the Grendels, will limit the amount of damage your forces take.
Armor here. Armor here. Rolling. En route. Fighting enemy. Bring him on. Fighting enemy.
Having my tanks go after the Grendels while my bombers go after the gun towers. Just putting them to their best roles.
Attacking enemy. Bring him on. Fighting enemy.
Augmented unit lost.
Attacking enemy. Protecting the block. Play the turret. Attacking enemy. Turning shield. Attacking enemy. Turning shield. No mercy.
Warning. Damage critical.
Well done. Power's down at the field lab. That's strange. Stand by, Cobra 1.
Armor here. Armor here. On the wing. Armor here. En route.
Cobra 1, Sky Eye indicates NSDF forces are approaching the field lab. But except for you, there shouldn't be any NSDF left on the moon after their evacuation to Mars. What the? The NSDF units are using the same communications frequency as the Russians. What did they just say? Black Dogs, the American units are heading to the research facility to evacuate the scientists. They're working with the Russians. Stop them.
Oh, traitor Americans, that's not good.
Heavy razor. Armor here. Heavy razor. Yes, sir.
With that unit that was killed, one of my pilots got into the Grendel, which is probably going to be useful because I can condense them into the Thunderbolt squad. They basically will serve a very similar role.
Yes, sir. Armor here. Armor here.
Again, heal up your units from the spare pods, and let's go to the next base.
Armor here. Heavy razor. Yes, sir. Armor here. Grizzly here. Rolling.
We have 2 more idle flankers up ahead. Same deal as before. Get out of your vehicle, snipe them to limit the combat damage to your combat vehicles.
Armor
Making
here.
sure my allies are close on hand. This is going to be a big fight in a moment. Again, do the same thing as well. Make sure you jump in each of these vehicles so that the IFF changes to your team. So we've got a pretty big compound up ahead. Let's see if we can scout it out. See if we can do some quick sniping. This is going to be a pretty risky shot. That was incredibly lucky and took me a few times to get. Maybe we can get one more? That's definitely an ISDF tank. And a tug. Wonder what it's transporting. Those gun towers can be very scary when they look at you and you're a pilot. Enough screwing around, let's get this done.
Armor here. Fighting enemy. Grizzly here. No mercy. Grizzly here. No mercy.
So watch out for the NSDF tanks. They are packing some serious heat.
Enemy. No mercy.
Don't have to do what I'm doing. Though the markings on that tug are interesting. AIA?
Offensive unit lost. Offensive
Bring 'em on.
unit lost.
Fighting enemy.
That was a blast cannon on a Grizzly.
Attacking
Definitely not
enemy.
standard
Grizzly here.
equipment.
Eat dirt, commie pinko. No mercy.
Once all the defenses are done, pretty much clear out the stragglers, all the buildings, leave the field lab. That's the one with the bobby hat.
Offensive
Everything else is fair game.
Bring 'em on. Eat dirt, commie pinko.
I have no idea how I didn't get splattered there.
Bring 'em on.
So in this mod, just a quick thing to keep in mind is the barracks. All barracks buildings in this game have an attached equivalent badger turret to the back of them, part of the free thing when you build it. So barracks can actually be kind of lethal if you're not paying attention.
Attacking enemy. Stay put. Eat
Victor. Copy, Pico.
Once all those buildings are killed, that's mission complete.
Rogue NSDF forces escaped the scientist and the alien artifact, but for now at least, the Soviets in this area have been defeated. Well done.
I mean, the artifact's back there. Mission debriefing. Well done, soldier. Your brave actions on this day have prevented the Soviets from advancing their weapons research. We found a KGB official in the field lab who talked to one of their escaped lab technicians. It was determined that the alien object that the Americans were seen transporting is part of an alien armory of some kind. We must discover what exactly this armory is capable of. Additionally, the Soviet units you faced were from the Crimson Bears Battalion, the CBB. Like the Black Dogs, they appear to be a special operations group. If they have remained on the moon while the bulk of the Soviet forces are in pursuit of our mainline NSDF forces, then there is something unusual going on here. This would seem to be born out of their association with the traitorous NSDF forces. We have not been able to determine what group the NSDF forces you encountered were a part of. Neither their appearance nor insignia are known to BDS command. If the Black Dogs don't know who they are, then that makes them just as dangerous as the Soviets. And that's the end of Get the Scientist. Sorry for the delay on this video. I had a couple of real life things get in the way, but hopefully I should be back onto my regular schedule. If you like what I'm doing here and are keen to see what my next mission is, which is Black Dogs 2 preparations, give me a like, subscribe, and a comment down in the comment section. Anyway, peace out.